Hey everyone, it's Krowicki and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road 4x4 with the lawn bed. Let's get started. The TRD Off-Road Tacoma starts at $38,465 and you can actually get it without leather seats, JBL speakers, the bigger touchscreen, all of the extra things. You can actually get it at a lower price. The one that we're looking at today is $46,058. This truck has a 3.5 liter V6 engine and a part-time 4x4 system, so you can switch between 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low range. This Tacoma also gets about 20 miles per gallon averaged, and we're looking at it today in the army green color, which was a TRD Pro color in 2020, but then they brought it back in future years as one of the ordinary colors. Let's start the overview by talking about the exterior, and we're going to start right here in the front of the truck. Starting off with these headlights, LED headlights and LED fog lights are optional on the TRD Off-Road. This one here has it. It's a $485 option, but it looks pretty cool. It has a sequential turn signal built into it, and you get LED for the headlights and fog lights. On the grille here, we have the Toyota emblem. It's a nice and big emblem, but it's not the spelled out Toyota, just like you would see on maybe a Trail Edition or a TRD Pro, which has that heritage style grille. This one just has a lot of these little cutouts right here going on, and then you have a big Toyota emblem in the center. Just below that, you do have a camera right here. Now this one also does have an option for the multi-terrain monitor. It's an almost $1,700 option that gives you cameras all around the truck, so when you're off-roading you can see what's ahead of you. When you're reversing, you can also see a top-down view, so you can see everything that's around the truck. And then also when you're off-roading, you can press the view button inside the cabin to see things that are underneath the mirrors that you can't really easily see when you're going off-roading. For wheels and tires, we have these 16-inch alloy wheels that have a little bit of silver to them and a little bit of black on them. This is a 6-lug pattern, and the tires that this truck comes with are the Goodyear Wranglers. The size here is 265/70/16, so these are a little bit meatier than your stock Tacoma tires. Now these are the stock tires for the TRD Off-Road. Most people are not going to off-road with these tires, but they're pretty adequate if you're just doing something light. And all of the TRD Off-Roads come with an off-road tuned suspension with Bilstein shocks, which you can see are the yellow ones right here in the front, and then we have blue shocks in the rear. Now the safety system that this truck comes with is TSSP, which is a slightly more basic version of Toyota Safety Sense. It's an older version that they used. It's got most of the main features that you would look for, like the pedestrian detection and the lane depart warning, but it won't do some of the things like actually correct the steering because we have hydraulic steering as opposed to electric power steering, and it won't also steer for you on the highways like some of the other versions of the system do. The radar cruise control will also only work at certain speeds, so you'll have to actually be going at freeway speeds for it to work. It's not like some of the newer systems which work at full speed. Along the driver and passenger door, we do have a little bit of Tacoma badging here. You can see the mirror here is color keyed, which is actually one of the options. It's included with the multi-terrain monitors, so if you do get the cameras, you're going to get the color keyed mirrors. If not, you might just get some black mirrors. We do have a sequential turn signal also built into here, which I'll go ahead and show you guys how that looks. We have a blind spot monitor here as well, and just below the mirror you can even see one of the cameras for the multi-terrain monitor. So this one right here is going to show you what's underneath the truck as you're off-roading. There's keyless entry on the driver and passenger door, so if we go ahead and tap on these lines right here, the truck will lock, and if I just put my hand right here, the truck will unlock. It should be noted though that you do not get the keyless entry on the rear doors, only the front doors. We also have some matte black here between the front and rear windows, and it kind of stops right here at the very top. It doesn't actually carry on over to the A-pillar. It just starts right here at the top of the window and goes down to the bottom of the window with no kind of continuation. Moving over to the bed now, you can see we have our fuel door right here. So this is going to take 87 octane. It doesn't have a lock on it, so that's maybe something that you'll want to get if you're picking up one of these trucks. And over here we do have this black and red decal that says TRD 4x4 Off-Road. Here you can see that blue Bilstein shock, and we do also have a spare tire underneath the truck. Moving along to the back now, you can see our taillights here. Now these are not LEDs. We do also have some parking sensors down below here across the rear bumper, and there's a little connection right here, so if you're towing a trailer and you want your brake lights and turn signal lights to sync up, you have the connections for that right over here. We do also have the Tacoma lettering stamped into the tailgate. We also have a reverse camera right here on the same panel that we have the opening for our tailgate. We also have a V6 badge back here and a couple of lights to light up the license plate area when you're driving at night. And just below that, we also have a tow hitch receiver. In the bed now, we have a couple of anchors around the bed for your tie downs. We do also have a little storage cubby right over here. And then this one right here is a 400-watt power outlet, so you can plug in any devices. Make sure that you are running the truck if you are using this, however. Back here you can also see some cutouts. Some of the Tacomas come with some LED lights right here. We do also have a light just at the top of the cabin right there, which you can turn on from inside the driver's seat. And then this little center area right here on the back glass is a sliding door. Let's go ahead and talk about the interior a little bit now. So we do have our mirror controls right here, right beside our window switches. There's a couple of little storage spots right here. So you have one right here where you would grab the door to close it. And then we do also have a little bit of water bottle storage just below that. We do also have one of the 6 JBL speakers here on the door card. This is part of the TRD Off-Road Premium package, which gives you things like the leather seats, heated seats, a sunroof, automatic lights, JBL speakers, and a built-in navigation. In the truck now, we also have a couple of buttons right here beside the steering wheel by the door card. We have our traction off button. This is the camera view button, which is going to activate that multi-terrain monitor. We have a switch here for the lights in the bed of the truck, automatic high beams, and that 400 watt power outlet that we have in the back. You can switch that over to 100 watts or you can turn it off entirely. The steering wheel is leather wrapped and has 2 different types of leathers here. So we have this like perforated leather that goes along the sides. And then at the top and bottom, we just have this standard regular leather over here. We have kind of like a metallic gray finish right here on the trim pieces of the steering wheel. And then we also have a couple of functions on the steering wheel as well. So on the right side over here, we can control the little center display that we have here between the 2 gauges. And on the left side, you have your audio and multimedia controls. We can also pick up and end phone calls with our phone paired. And on the right bottom side right here of the steering wheel, we have the dynamic radar cruise control button and the lane depart warning. So here's that screen right here between the gauges. You can see a bunch of different information about the truck and about your drive. You'll also find the vehicle settings right here as well. So we have the pre-collision system, lane depart assist warnings, as well as some settings. So pretty useful screen here. Most of the time you're probably going to be looking at how fast you're going, but you also have these 2 large gauges beside that, so you can see you have a tachometer and a speedometer. We have these large circular cutout vents right here, which you can control the airflow and directions by just turning them and tilting them whichever way you want. There is an 8-inch touchscreen right here in the center, which has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as just regular Bluetooth connectivity. It says JBL right here because this is built in with the JBL speakers and sound system that we have in this car. And we also have built-in navigation as part of that option. Just below that, we have our emergency lights and 2 buttons right here for heated seats. So as part of that off-road premium package that's given us these leather seats, we have heated seats as well. The row just below that, we have our engine start stop button. We actually have our switch right here between 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low. You will have to put the truck into neutral and push in on this dial to switch into low range 4-wheel drive. And we also have dual zone climate control, so you can have a different temperature setting than your passenger. We have blind spot monitors, on and off button. ECT power is going to change how your transmission reacts to your driving. We have our parking sensor on and off button. This one right here is going to slide that rear glass, so we can go ahead and push down here to open it, push up to close that. We have a USB right here, which is what you're going to use to actually use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in here. And then we also have an on and off button for the wireless charger, which you can see the pad is just right here next to the cup holders. And we also have a 12-volt power outlet just right here. Now, like I touched on, we have 2 cup holders right here behind the shifter, and then just below that we have one more right here and kind of a little storage pocket. Maybe you might be able to fit like a small water bottle there, but if you have the truck in drive, your water bottle may not actually fit here. And we do also have an old school handbrake right here, so no electronic parking brake. It's kind of cool how we still have a lot of these old school things that a lot of people like while still having modern amenities. The center console is a little bit small for a truck, but we do have 2 USBs there, and one of them is a USB-C. There are also 2 more cup holders behind the center console, which most likely the rear passengers will be using. On the passenger side, on the glove box, you can see it has Tacoma kind of stamped in there. And then we have our locking glove box right here, which is a pretty average size. We have an auto-dimming rear view mirror, which you can turn on and off. And then we also have garage remote connectivity, so you can sync up these buttons right here. There's 3 different homes that you can set to open up different garages and gates that you might have. Just above that, you have your multi-terrain select, so you can select that and cycle through different modes to let the truck know what type of terrain you're on, and it's going to best adapt the suspension towards that. You also have crawl control, so you can adjust your crawl control so that the car can pretty much cruise control in off-road scenarios and do what the truck needs to do to get you out of those situations. We have an emergency SOS button, a rear differential locker, which is really nice if you're planning on doing any off-roading. And then we also have our operation switches for the sunroof, as well as a light control switch. The visor has a little light right here on it, which is not LED, but you can probably easily switch these out for LED bulbs. And then this does also extend to provide you for some extra sunshade. In the back seats now, there aren't any more USBs back here, but we do have some more speakers on the door cards. And what's nice is you can also actually store some things underneath these seats. So if we go ahead and pull up this bottom portion, you get this little storage pocket right here, which if we open up, we can do the same thing for the other side there, but you have some more storage down here. Behind the seats here as well, we have a little bit of extra storage. So if there's some smaller objects that you don't usually access that often, you can store some things behind the seats. Behind the passenger seat, there is a little storage pocket, but there is none right here behind the driver's seat. And lastly, at the very top here, we have one more light control for the rear passengers. If you enjoyed this overview, please give it a like and consider subscribing. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed yet, please help us get there. Also comment if there's any other 2022 Toyotas that you want us to cover here on the channel that we haven't done so yet. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye.